What's up guys, welcome back for another DevPro Duel video. It has been a few weeks, but today let's feature Frogmonarchs again, and this time I will be reviewing a few cards, mainly Archlord Kristya, Vanity's Ruler Tragoedia, and the new rank 1 exceed Utopia roots. In previous videos, people have been asking me why I don't play Tragoedia, or why not play Vanity's Ruler over Vanity's Fiend, since Vanity's Ruler let you special summon you 3-born, and Vanity's Fiend won't. Past week I've been having a lot of duels, test duels against the current top tier decks, and I only saved the duels where I was able to showcase, or at least have a certain scenario where I could show why one of the cards featured in this video is good or bad. I don't care if I won or lost that duel. If the game was excellent to showcase a particular card, you will see it in this video. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. The first game of the video. Opponent is playing Dragon Rulers, so I have 3 games ready against Dragon Rulers. I get to start. Looking, my opening hand is decent, I guess. Opening with Foolish, Tragoedia, although no Maxi, and we know how good Maxi is against Dragon Rulers. So set up the 3-born, and with Tragoedia in hand, and already the Kristya in hand, I think I'm pretty much set. Although he has a nice mills with the Guard Trooper, already setting up his grave, at least replenish his hand with the Blaster and banish the Tempest, I believe. Search out Gorseska. I'm forced to take 1-9 and 2-8, so a lot of damage, and then drop Tragoedia in the process. So this is also one of the reasons why I dislike Tragoedia. I take damage in the process of dropping it, so I prefer Fader over it, but I'll come back to that in the deck profile later. So I choose to drop Tragoedia here for Kristya. And in case of Fader, I wouldn't have taken damage, but yeah, doesn't matter. So I'm not... Yeah, I first attacked over the Blaster, since Blaster would have been bounced back to his hand, giving him an extra out if he did have a fire monster for the Kristya. And he did, so he drew his Lone Fire, and yeah, unfortunately with the Tempest he was able to get another Blaster from his deck. So the Kristya is bounced back to the top of his deck, but I don't have an extra Fader or Gorse or my last Tragoedia to stop his attacks. So unfortunately, yeah, I'll lose that game. Another duel. Again, I get to start. I can open decently with the 3-born Double Chaos, Soul Exchange, Failure, and Light and Darkness Dragon. So already a potential Light and Darkness Dragon on board with the 3-born and the Soul Exchange. Although he makes an excellent move going for the Crimson later first turn. So I need to already burn an early Failure, which sucks, but I don't have a choice. And looking at his hand here, I think the better move was to drop the Light and Darkness Dragon as soon as possible, but looking at his hand, he only has 2 Blasters, a useless Foolish, with Light and Darkness Dragon on board, like 1 Dragon in his grave, but he draws into return from a different dimension. This is one of the duels I put in the video not to showcase one of my featured cards, but I think I have 2 duels ready to pretty much show why why some cards in the current metagame are retarded as hell. So I think I'm in a pretty good position with Light and Darkness Dragon still at 1800, and with Failure in hand I can, I think, stop him from OTKing me. Although he activates his Blaster, banishing 2 dragons in process, Light and Darkness Dragon activates and he chains return from a different dimension. Yeah, nothing I can do about that, so this screams for GG. I'm forced to fail his Crimson Blader, but I'm still sitting at 8000 life points, but that doesn't really matter. So he's going to attack over my Light and Darkness Dragon. I can reborn the Failure, but I don't have anything in my graveyard with a huge amount of defense, so he can attack his, or at least he can attack my Failure with his Gorseska. And yeah, no Tragoedia, no Gorse, no Fader, so that's GG. Yeah, nothing I can do about that, so we pretty much stole the game right there with this return from a different dimension. So yeah, let's hope the card gets banned in a few months. The last game against Dragon Rulers, I get to start again, open with a decent opening hand. To pretty much set up the 3-born. I'm not going to special summon swap again, since we know, I think the game has a mechanic that you cannot, or you can only bounce back Swap Frog 1 time. So I would be forced to go for Catchy, but I don't want to do that just yet. Then my turn again. He's going to set up his Grave. I special summon Reborn again. He maxes for the 1-for-1. I'm not giving him an extra draw for the maxi does not weigh to the fact that I can put Kristya on board and hope he doesn't have an out. Like, the Dragon rules don't have a lot of outs for Kristya, like Blaster with the fire, maybe Dark Hole, maybe some back row warning, but that's pretty much it. And he does have a Blaster, but it's not that big of a deal since Kristya is just bounced back to the top of the deck, so I can get it back on board next turn, unless he OTKs me, of course. But I maxi, get a draw already, the Kristya. He attacks for 1-9, 2-6 and passes with a Veiler in hand. 3-1 special summon back again. I think I'm going to keep the Soul Exchange in hand, just in case he gets a bigger threat on board later in the duel. And to attack over his card trooper, not letting him mill more cards, maybe more Dragon Rulers in the process, and dealing a huge amount of damage in the same process. He's digging for outs, like double Blaster or Blaster and the fire, and now I'm pretty much sitting on the Kristya, like he's going to set one monster and pass. And that's one of the downsides of both Kristya and Vanity's Fiend, that I cannot, or at least both players cannot special summon monsters. And that's, I think, the only advantage of Vanity's Ruler, that you can special summon your own monsters, so your own Treeborn. But other than that, I don't think Vanity's Ruler is better than Kristya or Vanity's Fiend. Here, I'm going to the battle phase, he's going to Veiler, so that tells me that he pretty much has scores in his hand, so I'm not going to attack and risk him, or at least risking the possibility of him having Gores. I activate Duality. I think I pick Battle Fader. Yeah, indeed, the third card is a Battle Fader. And again, I cannot special summon Treeborn, and I'm either forced to Soul Exchange in combination with the Monarch to get an extra monster to the field, or draw into Ronin Totem or another Treeborn to get possibly a Monarch next to Kristya on the field. So here, that's what I do, since I don't think his back row is threatening, something like Torrential Tribute. So I bounce it back to the top of his deck. And giving me the extra monster on the field lets me attack over his only monster next turn. So he pretty much scoops. So Kristya definitely paid off in this game. Next, my opponent is playing Spellbooks. Looking at both hands, I don't open with 3-1 and I'm forced to pass. Although sitting on Tragoedia, Maxi, but we know Maxi is not that great against Spellbooks. Most of the time just a 1-for-1, like here. He reveals his Priestess and I'm forced to Maxi to draw another card. There is a Treeborn. And here's one of the reasons why I dislike Tragoedia. I obviously cannot drop it in, or at least when he deals damage, since he'll just pop it in main phase 2. So he makes some basic double plays like Search Out the Field spell and so on, and passes my turn. I'm already at 5,500 life points, and I don't want to just set the Treeborn and pass, giving him the opportunity to go for maybe 1 power or double power to build this advantage even more. So I attack his Magician, lose 400 life points in the process, and drop Tragoedia to attack over his Priestess. Since I do have the Mystical Space Typhoon for the field spell. Although, since I took the damage earlier from the Priestess, I'm at 5-1, and also the 400 extra damage from the attack. He can make game now because of the combination with the Daigusto Phoenix and Spellbook of Life for the Priestess. So, bit unfortunate. He's able to attack for 3k and do 5, and no Fader, no extra Tragoedia, no Gores. So that means GG. So that taking that damage from the attack from Priestess earlier did, or at least was a bit of importance for the game. Alright, next duel against Spellbooks. This is also one of the duels where I not feature one of the cards in this video, but I feature, or at least show why a few cards in the current metagame are retarded as hell. And I think you'll pretty much know which card I'm talking about, you'll see it in a moment. So again, no Treeborn. just set the MST and pass, so I can at least chain the MST on the activation of the Spellbook Tower. So Spellbook Tower loses his, or at least misses timing. He's lucky. He activates the Sixth Sense, pretty much one of the most retarded cards in the game now. And obviously I roll a 5, so he's get to draw, or at least he gets to draw 5 cards. And this is pretty much GG. I'm not going to Veiler his Magician, since my thought process here was to, okay, I'm going to keep the Veiler to negate one of his Priestesses in main phase 2, so I can drop Boars now. And since he was obviously going to activate both his Priestesses to destroy both my cards, so I can stop one of his Priestesses to destroy one of my monsters. So this gives me the opportunity to go for a soul exchange on one of his Priestesses next turn, and then Econ tributing his Priestess to take control of the other Priestess and to tribute both for Kristya to hopefully lock him out of the duel. Although that was pretty much wishful thinking, since we know Spellbook of Fate or Spellbook of Wisdom was pretty much a given on his part with the 5 draws and the searches. So I decide to attack first and maybe chain an enemy controller if he has dimensional prison sets, but still it would have been always GG. So yeah, this game I think I just lost because of because of Sixth Sense. So again, just like Return from a Different Dimension, let's hope Sixth Sense gets banned like Return in a few months. Okay, the last duel against Spellbooks. I get a pretty good start, again with Tragoedia, I believe, no Treeborn. So I think, okay, I'm going to keep the pressure on my opponents, immediately tribute summon for Ryza, which most of the time is not a good move, like tributing one of your monsters to target one of their back rows with either Chaos or Ryza. But I don't want to be a sitting duck, and giving him more cards, more draws to potentially build up his advantage. So I tribute for Ryza and pass. And although I choose the wrong card, Torrential Tribute, but a few turns later, draw into the swap, so finally I get my engine going, attack for 1000. I was thinking to just leave the Swap Frog on the field, but just in case he had a Prophecy monster in combination with Power, I didn't want to give him the opportunity to attack over my Swap Frog and use the Power effect to search out secrets and so on. So I did have a Ronin Totem in grave, so discarding the Swap Frog as food, or at least fodder for the Ronin Totem was, I think, better. I'm able to stop his Magician with Veiler, and that was a crucial play, since now he's not able to search out for power and he just needs to pass. So here he does have 2 back rows, 2 potential threats for Light and Darkness Dragon, but if he does have a potential out for Light and Darkness Dragon, he burns at least 2 cards in the process. So he loses both his prisons. So that's excellent. So Tragoedia has a clear way to attack over the Magician and pass. So I think I'm in a pretty much okay position with Maxi in hand. Just in case he's Priestess, so I can get a 1-for-1 off, an extra draw, and double Econ in hand. Nice. He does have a Priestess. He has 2 Priestesses in hand, but obviously due to the Maxi, he's only going to drop 1 to the field. Then I'm not going to Econ, there's no reason to activate enemy controller just yet. Just in case he does have Veiler, I'm going to chain the enemy controller to banish the Priestess, or at least target the Priestess, and then tribute my Chaos, and then the Priestess get banished since Veiler doesn't have a legit target to negate. But he drops to 2-7 life points, and with double Econ in hand, this should always be GG. So I reveal the Econ and he just scoops. So I think a pretty okay duel. The last duel in the video is against Mermails. So also one of the better duels I had against Mermails, showcasing one of the cards in the video. I opened pretty decently, opened with Treeborn, MST and so on. I set the Ronin, and since I know the fact that he's playing Mermails, I'm not going to set the MST and just keep the MST if he activates Sphere at the end of main phase 2. Then he normal summons his Linnaeus. I think he's going to attack over the Treeborn, not attacking the Ronin Totem. Just set another card and my turn. Here I was thinking, should I activate Soul Exchange or not, just in case he has something like Torrential Tribute or Bottomless Trap Hole. since then Soul Exchange would have at least get rid of the Linda on the field. But I think keeping the Soul Exchange for later, maybe just in case for Abyss Giles or a bigger threat, I think that was better, or at least giving me an extra card to get Kristya on board. So that's why I kept the Soul Exchange there. And he did have a torrential tribute, so luckily I kept the Soul Exchange, as you'll see later. I'm not going to Veiler his Staeos, since I wanted to keep the Veiler for the Abyss. So he special summons another Staeos, and I believe Reborn Linda, yeah. So he attacks for a huge amount of damage, but I also think he's going to end the turn with Abyss Giles. Yeah, that's pretty much an excellent field against Frogs, unless I have either Soul Exchange, Enemy Controller, or Dark Hole. So here, luckily, I kept Soul Exchange for later. So due to the Treeborn and Soul Exchange, I'm able to get Kristya on board. And again, this is pretty much a grind game, me again sitting on the Kristya, and then yeah, giving him extra turns to draw potential outs for the Kristya. I set the Treeborn here, since if he does not get rid of the Treeborn, I can get an extra monster to the field in the form of Chaos or Ryza. And we know Mermail doesn't have a lot of outs for Kristya or Vanity's Fiend, since pretty much infantry in combination with the Pike is pretty much their only out, which obviously he does, but the nice advantage of Kristya is that it gets bounced back to the top of the deck, and thanks to Ronin Totem I can get Kristya back on board. So let's attack over the Abyss Pike and just end my turn again, pretty much sitting on the Kristya. He draws into a useless marksman and again sets Linden, I believe. So again, I cannot do anything, no monsters, only 3 tributes, and I obviously want to keep the Kristya on board. So yeah, he's also able to draw into, or at least I give him more time to draw into his outs. Draw into enemy controller, again, not able to special summon anything, just going to attack over his monster, so it's basically a grind game. He does lose a card pretty much every turn, and I can build up some advantage. But yeah, I don't draw into any kind of hand trap to pretty much secure me, or at least yeah, giving me a better feeling about like I can defend myself, like if I draw Vader or Tragoedia or Gorz or whatever. Since now if he does get rid of the Kristya, he gets pretty much a clear way to go for game. And here, since this Torrential is already gone, let's get the Monarch to the field and maybe bounce one of his back rows, maybe one of his spheres back to the top of his deck, although he still has a warning. So here again, like a few duels ago, Soul Exchange is face down and Ryza for his potentially dead back row, again giving me an extra monster to the field. So, and him only being at 2000 life points, this is always GG, since we know his back row is not a threat. And then yeah, Ryza attacks directly for a game. So again, Kristya putting in some work. Anyway, let's see the deck list. And yeah, explain the featured cards. Kristya definitely has potential in the current format. Going into a huge tournament, like for example a YCS, where the field is pretty much yeah, everyone playing Dragon Ruler, Kristya has an excellent choice next to Vanity's Fiend. Vanity's Ruler, on the other hand, is, I think, inferior to both cards, since you need 2 tributes to get it to the field, and that makes it not versatile enough compared to Vanity's Fiend. It has more restrictions than Vanity's Fiend. Kristya has a huge advantage that it will be sent back to the top of deck when sent to the grave, although it can also be a disadvantage if you want to draw something else. Next, there is Tragoedia, and in pretty much every Frogmonarch video I put up, people ask me why I don't play this card. I'll keep it short. Decks like Fire Fist, Spellbooks and Dragon Rulers have easy outs to destroy your Tragoedia in main phase 2, looking at, for example, High Priestess, Bear, Dracosec, Big Eye, Scrap Dragon and so on. So in the process you took damage from attacks and lose a card at a relatively easy way. It's also a card that you would rather not want to draw late game because of your hand size. So these were just a few reasons, but because of this I'd rather pick other cards over Tragoedia. For example, an extra Maxi or the 3rd Battle Fader. Sure, Tragoedia gives you some kind of attack power to the deck, but from my experience, I'd rather not want to play it in favor of other cards. Last we have Utopia Roots, but from all the games I played, I never wanted to go for it. Slacker Magician pretty much always was a superior choice to Exceed Summon. And on that note, I'm going to end the video. If you have any questions, don't hesitate, I will happily answer them in the comment section. Guys, thanks for watching and feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. I'm signing out.